Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call the Oversight Committee meeting this evening. Hope everybody signed the roster of people that are present to be able to get the attendance. We'll go ahead and start with the discussion of the pre-bid conference as far as procedures are concerned. Who's gonna?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Barbosa. The purpose of this agenda item, why we put it on there, is that a lot of the projects are moving forward and moving along, and so that this group can understand the process of what we go through when we're bidding projects out. This is one of the important phases that we go through when we're soliciting bids. The projects that we've already advertised for bids are the 2 fire alarm packages, and the air conditioning has 4 parts to it. We've already advertised the first part, and we've also advertised the high school. Last week we had a pre-construction, it's a pre-bid. Pre-construction is after the project's awarded, and we'll get to that when we start some of the projects. But this is a pre-bid, and basically this is a meeting that we hold with the architect, and it's in the advertisement. Anybody that wants to bid, like I say, the fire alarm packages, they read it in the newspaper at what they call the AGC office. The Association of General Contractors has offices throughout, I think, Harlingen's for the Valley. There's one in Corpus, one in San Antonio, where anybody wanting to bid on projects, you go to this, you pay a fee to be a part of the association, and you drop in, and they have a big old plan room, and you can see all the projects are being bid out throughout the Valley. Somebody posts them there. You find out what's being advertised, what's being out for bids, and you take a look at it, and if you're interested, you can call that architect and get a whole set of plans and specs for yourself, for your office. They usually get several sets because it's like a project like the high school. The general contractor wants a set for him. He wants a set for his electrician, his painter, his plumber, his AC guy, his concrete guy, the glass guy. I mean, it's probably 20, 30 different trades, the steel people, the roofing people. And then he's got to get a set of plans to everybody. And then all those people have to look and submit bids. Now, if I know there's 3 very good electrical contractors out there to bid, well, I need 3 just for the electricians. So then they start getting prices in. While they're trying to put the prices together, there's some questions that'll come up. The electrician may ask, well, on this page or on this sheet, it says this, but the specs say something different. We're not sure what it means, so I don't know how to price it. So they'll call the architect, the engineer, and they get an answer, what they call a clarification. It means this, or you know what, there was a conflict, omit what's in the spec, what's on the plan is correct. So they try to answer all the questions so they can get accurate prices. And then they do that by sending out what they call an addendum. It's a change to the specs, and they send out a copy to everybody that has picked up plans. That's how they know who's going to bid on the project. If I had 3 general contractors come by and each one got 20 or 30 sets so they can distribute to their people, I know those 3 contractors are going to bid because they picked the plans. So when they do addendums, they send them out to those 3 contractors that they have on their vendors list. And of course, we get one as the owner. So somebody out there that wants to bid, they didn't get an addendum, well, how's that going to help them if they don't even have plans to begin with? So it's only those that pick up plans. We already had a meeting last week, a pre-bid on the fire alarm packages. And we had a pretty good turnout. Everybody was there. There wasn't really too many questions. It's a very simple fire alarm package. And we also had it for the air conditioning project at Lopez High School. And we got about 3 to 4 contractors. I think there was 3 that showed up, but 4 had picked up plans. So the high school, we had the meeting today, pre-bid conference. We're very interested in knowing how many contractors are going to bid, because the more contractors we get bidding, the better prices we can get. It's more competitive.
This is on the AC, right?
I switched to the high school.
Okay.
The AC and the 2 fire alarms happened last week.
Okay.
The pre-bid for the high school was today. We had 2 contractors show up, Wilson Construction and Skanska Construction. And they have some questions, if they have, a few concerns of You know, this is a very big project. We're having trouble getting big subs to bid on this because it's a very, very big project. There's not too many people who can get bonded. Mechanical contractors, electricians, and plumbers, and AC people, the concrete, the roofers. So you have a limited number of people that can help you, give you bids. And if you only go to one guy, well, you pretty much have to take the price he has. Well, I want to compare 2, 3 different roofers who gives me the best price. I can get a better package to the owner. Originally, we had 5 contractors that had contacted the architect, were interested. And figuring about 20 copies each, we made 100 sets of plans and specs. So everybody's supposed to go pick them up. When the plans were available, the 5 that kept calling, only 2, the 2 that I mentioned, have picked up plans.
Where are they from?
I mentioned Wilson Construction is one, they're out of McAllen. Skanska is a national big firm, but they have an office in the valley. They're doing the La Jolla High School, and they have an office in McAllen also. So as of now, we only have 2 contractors. And their concerns today to us was that we don't have enough time to bid. We want an extension. Can we have some more time? And of course, we're concerned because we're in a tight timeline. We want to get it out. We want to get it, because they got 24 months to build it. So they start in May, 2 years from now in May, we want them to finish, so we can have June, July, and August to get the furniture in, get it all cleaned up, get the custodial staff going, and get all the equipment in there. And we're concerned if we start extending it too long, we won't get it in time to open school. So Mr. Springstone was at the meeting, and we told him that we'd get back to them. And Brett did talk to Mr. Gonzalez, and we figured out we can extend it about a week and a half, 10 days. And we only missed 1 board meeting from April 1st to April 15th, but we're going to try to push all the contracts and everything that we can do ahead of time so that we're still on schedule to start the first week of May. So we really didn't lose time on that, but we are going to wait 1 more board meeting because of those 2 contractors today that we heard asking questions. One of them, according to the architect told me, one of them's not sure that if we didn't give him the extra time, he wouldn't be able to put numbers together, probably wouldn't bid. That would leave us with 1 bidder, and that's not good. And if that 1 bidder knows that I'm going to be the only bidder, guess what? Prices are going up. So Fred and I talked, it's a risk. If we say no, you have to submit, and then I'm sorry, we're going to April 1st, and that's it. It can backfire on us. We can get 1 contractor, inflated prices, and even both of them were saying, even if they both bid, they both said, well, we can't get prices from these other subs, and there's a lot of unknowns. We'll do an estimate and then add 10, 15, 20%, whatever they feel. We're going to pad the numbers. And it's not to the district's advantage that if we have more time, we can get you better numbers and you can save a lot of money, from hundreds of thousands to possibly $500,000, $750,000, if they're allowed a little bit more time to sharpen their pencil and get a lot more competitive prices from their subs. And the subcontractors, before they get prices, they call material suppliers. I'm going to call this electrical supply company in Harlingen, and Brownsville, McAllen, San Antonio, and they'll shop throughout the country. There's a big old warehouse in Atlanta that sells real cheap electrical supplies. Well, that's where I'm going to buy them, but I got to do my pricing. And then that's only 1 sub, an electrical sub, and let's say I get 2 or 3 of them. They all need time to make all those calls, put their numbers together. Then to give it to the contractors look at everything and get my best ones. He may get one that's very cheap, but maybe that sub's not very reputable. He's going to cause me problems, he's going to cause me delays. So they really have to evaluate him and say, this is the best package I can put together. And they'll give us a price. So that happened today, and I think it was a wise decision on our part to give him an extra week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oscar, I know you mentioned there were at least 5. What happened to the other 3? Did it in approach, or did it in approach, or?
The other 3, the architect just says that, they called, that have the plans ready, they put them aside in the corner of one of the room, and we'll be there Monday, and they just didn't show up. Maybe they just feel they don't have enough time to bid it. Maybe by doing this extension, our architect's going to call them, hey, I got your plans here, we got an extra 2 weeks, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 more picking up. That's what we're hoping for. If we can have 3 or 4 bids, I think we'll get a very competitive price.
The more we have, I think it's going to be in the best interest of the district.
And when the other contractors find out, there might be more bidders, and they're really going to sharpen their pencil and give us a better price. So we just wanted to update you on how that whole pre-bid works and what happened today with the high school, which is the biggest project that we're working on.
One more question, Oscar. Once we get the bidding competitive, do we go back and check the background of the builders as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. We're gonna do we have a ranking committee that, we have criteria that we have to do reference checks, quality of the work. The ones we work with, we know.
You know them already.
But the ones we haven't worked with, we're gonna have to maybe even visit some schools that they did, call the, school districts, call those architects, engineers that they worked at.
References.
And, we have to look at their financials and the project experience of who's gonna be your project manager and your project superintendents on the field. What experience do they have? Have they ever overseen a high school? So all these things come into play.
The other aspect here is looking at, construction people today, their biggest comment was that as large a scope of a job that we have here, more than likely, a lot of their subcontractors are going to be coming from outside of the valley. And so they do need that time to check up on them also, and to find out what their reputation is, and how they have worked, and the type and quality of jobs they have performed in the past, and how many. And so that was one of the considerations that I really thought about, when I was visiting with the superintendent on this, is that it would be in the district's best interest, and he agreed, that we look at the outline, and can we still cut ground in May, get everything going, as we had promised, and still give a little latitude as far as working with the construction people, so that we may have more people come in and give us more of a competitive rate.
That's right.
I
have a question. If you extended a week and a half to 2 weeks, what would be the date for the?
We were scheduled to open up next Wednesday, which would have been the 12th. What's today?
No, the 12th.
The 12th.
This week is the 12th.
Oh, that's right, next week's spring break we're closed, so we've had it the following week, which is the 19th.
The 19th. And how much time do you need to review the bids?
They needed about 3 weeks, three and a half weeks. So if we move it 2 weeks, what's the date that you gave them, Brett? You wrote it down, I think it's the April 1st or 2nd.
April 2nd.
I think it's April 2nd when, the bids will be due.
April the 2nd. And there will have just been a meeting April the 1st.
There would be a
The
board
board
meeting,
meeting,
yes,
yes.
so obviously they won't be on that meeting.
No. So how much time do you need to review those bids?
We need about 3-4 days.
3 or 4 days. I, as a former board member, if I knew the importance of taking care of this business, I would not mind going to a special board meeting, and you all may want to take that into account.
That's an option that we have discussed, a possibility. We've done that in the past before.
Yeah,
It's
and
something
I
that we
mean, this
can
is
look
such
at.
an important project.
Very important.
I have two questions, Oscar. And maybe it was, I misunderstood what you were saying. When you indicated that the contractor, I guess this is your general contractor, and then when they're bidding on the whole project, but the electricians that were there were represented by the contractor himself. It wasn't like engineers are coming in and having their bids, and then you decide which one's gonna go with what contractor, right?
You're talking about the meeting we had today?
Well, because you only had two general contractors,
That's correct.
and let's say you had 5 electrical contractors, and you're trying to get the best bid from these 5, but they were represented by a general contractor, not necessarily individually, this guy's gonna go work with this person or with the other general contractor.
It's up to the general contractor who of those 5 he wants to
That he
hire.
wants to use.
Based on their best price and who he feels will keep him on schedule. Because he may get a cheaper price, but if he doesn't feel that person has the staff to keep up with his project, he's not gonna go with the low bid. He'll go with a little higher, but someone that he knows will finish the job.
So
And that's something he needs to
He
evaluate.
doesn't necessarily hire his own electrical people, but from the bids that he got from there is the one that he's gonna determine who he's gonna use.
Right, as an electrical company, with Metro Electric, Global
And that
Electric.
same electrical company be able to work with both contractors?
Yeah, many times they get, same prices, these contractors are gonna call the same electricians, and they both may use the same bids from the 2 electricians. Let's say there was 3 electricians, and they may both use the price of one electrician that they both like.
Okay.
So there'll be similar numbers, and that's why a lot of the bids are kind of close, unless they start deviating to different subs.
The second question is, the other three general contractors that were so-called interested but never came out, are we going to contact them or tell them that we have extended the date? Maybe that's why they didn't come in before, or that's just...
There's an addendum.
Yeah.
With that addendum, it will be posted.
Everywhere.
Everybody.
And they will have that same opportunity, even for another entire contracting group to look at, well, wow, we were interested, but I don't know, the timeline was kind of short. Now they're gonna see the addendum and see that they got the extra time. We could gather more people.
Yeah, there could be other contractors that were interested, but it takes a lot of time, and, we just don't have time to do that. They may be bidding other projects. I'll let this one pass, but now that they know there's 2 more weeks, they may say, you know what, I may be able to bid this, and we may get more interest.
Okay, so you will notify others,
Yes,
not only these two will be...
that's correct.
Okay. Any other questions or anything else that we need?
Do you post this information on the internet, on the website, BISD?
The actual bidding purpose, we did, no. This is just through the agency offices, Association of General Contractors.
All we have on our website is the information of
Bid number,
the bid number, and who to contact to receive the plan.
the plan spec, the architect's office, and where to call. So if somebody looking on the web will see that there's a bid for a high school, and to contact this architect, engineer for the plans, and they'll go there directly.
So I can actually if we're going to extend it for additional time, I can put that information on the website. So people know that, that's fine.
More information we get out.
No.
Anything else? Anybody else? Thank you. We have, any old business that needs to be taken care of, anybody? Do you have anything? Any new business?
Just a little, I wanted to make sure that I communicated with you about what y'all wanted from the last meeting. There was a couple of information items that y'all wanted to make sure that y'all had an opportunity to see. And so I added some pages in here for you, just to give you some information. Number one is the addresses for all the school sites. These will actually be the postal addresses, okay? And then number two, you wanted to see, well, there's 3 things really. Number two, you want to see the actual finance that we're going to go through here in just a minute. I don't know, this is part of the business. If you wanted to see exactly what the location is, I had it highlighted at the bottom of each section. Elementary 142, now you can take up this piece of paper right here. You can see where it says elementary 142 is 3200 Madrid Avenue, Brownsville, Texas. That is elementary right there where they call the Heritage Place subdivision. Y'all wanted to have an actual location in your mind of where that elementary is. So I'll put those two together so that as you wished and you asked for the last meeting. And if you want to know how we actually did our numbers, you have this sheet, so you got all of our phone numbers. And this is up to date, and all the schools and everything is listed alphabetical, but you'll see in the middle, it says campus number 008, campus number 055 for the middle school, elementary 141, 142, 143. This is how they're numbered here on this sheet. You'll see the schools listed in alphabetical order, but you'll see the numbers are they're not in numerical order, but that's how we number the campuses. So I thought I would add that sheet just as an information item for you.
Okay, which of these 3 schools will be funded locally?
Last. 141.
141?
141? That's correct, yes, ma'am, 141. Hope that gives you a better idea.
Certainly. Thank you. Yes, it's very helpful. Oscar, I have another question concerning on the construction. Are we on target, especially on the elementary schools and middle school?
Still on target, those, I think in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, the
Which
other
is
ones
now-
are gonna be coming in.
Okay.
And, we're still on target with the information that they gave us here and that they presented to the school board. So we're still shooting for those timelines, they're not due yet, but they'll be coming up in a few weeks. The first one was just high school,
The
that we've
priority.
really been pushing, yeah.
Certainly. Can a builder, assume building number 1 gets the high school, and he wants to bid for an elementary school? This, acceptable by the school district? If he wants to bid in another elementary school, middle school?
The process we use for that is if a contractor already has a big project with the district, and then they bid another project with us that they want to get, as part of the ranking, we put under their ability and capability to complete the job. And what we do is if they already have a big project with us, they actually get deduction of points because we feel they're overstaffed and they can't handle it. So they actually, during the ranking, they get points deducted. And even though they may be the lowest price, when they get deducted of points on what we feel is their inability to finish it due to too much work and not enough manpower, then they probably won't get the job. If it's a small to medium job, we can probably give them multiple projects, but someone who gets a high school probably will not get some of these other ones. But it is possible if we
It
feel
is
they have the
possible,
staff.
okay.
If it's a real big firm, a national firm that we think can handle it, then it is possible.
True.
Anything else?
What happened, I know you mentioned you have 2 builders. What happened if only one comes through? Are we gonna delay, postpone, and open, more the bidding process to maybe the San Antonio area, the Houston area, other builders as well? Also within the state of Texas, because I know there's a lot of factors that come into place.
Well, that's one of the concerns we had today, that if we didn't extend it and we only wound up with one, then administration has to get together,
Okay.
Mr.
And-
Gonzalez and Brett, and our CFO and everybody. Is this something we even want to recommend to the board? If we feel it's a good firm and a good price, probably still recommend it. But the board
I know.
now can approve it, or they can deny it. We don't know what's going to happen. Certainly, if we recommend to rebid, we're going to lose 2 months to start the process all over again. You have to advertise 2 weeks, wait 10 days after the second publication, do the ranking, wait for the next board meeting, submit agenda items. We'll lose two months. So then we'll start in July, maybe August, and guess what? We probably won't be open for the fall of '10. We'll probably have to do a mid-year open. So there's always that risk, but we won't know until the bids come in. But we're hopeful, based on what we heard today and the extra time, that we'll have multiple bidders.
Let's hope for the best.
It was an advantage for us to increase that deadline.
Yes.
With that possibility that if we don't end up with just one vote, end up with 3, maybe
More.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of the companies that we did visit with today is fairly new to the valley. And they are a
No.
national firm that does from all over, and they're just now looking down into the valley.
On the elementary schools, we have 3 and they're in construction. Do those all bid at the same time, or do you secure one bid and then move on to the next?
They all bid on different days, but there may be maybe 2 of them that may go to the same board meeting, but we did have different days.
What about the 4th elementary school? I was given a list of 4 new elementary schools.
There's another elementary, 144, but it is on hold right now. I think the issue there is the property. We don't have the property, and we have solicited proposals from architects that have already come in. We're ready to select the architect, but we don't want to move on that until we purchase the property, because then we can't really do anything without the property. So we're still working on some things with our superintendent as to what location we're going to purchase for them.
Anything else? That's it? Okay, we'll go ahead and go into the, financial report.
I will tell you, there haven't been any changes in the financial report. I don't have anybody here from finance today, but we have a gentleman that's, representing the district. Mr. Fuller is in Austin. We have been there for the past several days. We've been attending conferences at, HASCO convention. He is there, I've been there for the last 3 days, working with, construction projects. And, he's there now working with some of the things for financial projects. Ms. Pena is also working with the financial side at our other meeting that we're having this evening, which is with insurance. But I will tell you, as far as these projects are concerned with the bond projects, the only changes that you're gonna see are anything that may have to deal with our ADA projects right now. Am I correct, Oscar? As far as I have noticed, and I went through it, but everything else is,
I think also what Mr. Fuller did, I think this committee requested, well, what really happened from the last meeting to this meeting?
yes.
And Tony, if you notice there on the bottom of the page, Genetic Architect payments 4, 5, and 6, PBK Architect payment 4 and 5. Those are the ones that he went back and posted that from, I'm not sure which month, I think from the first of the year till now, that those are the payments that have been made. So those are the ones that, if you look at those columns, will reflect a lower number from your previous reports to show that those are the payments that have been made at the last, from the last report. The next page, you have PBK payments 4 and 5 on the middle school. And then the high school shows payment number 4 to Gomez Under Science that he posted. Whatever he posts, he's gonna list there. And y'all wanted that mainly on the new schools. The other ones is too much. And all the little stuff. And that's something that
what it was,
would
just to be
indicate to
able
you
to,
what
was done for that particular
Right.
month that we were reporting, rather than going back and
for
report
that,
from the last
what
report,
he paid
yeah,
us.
right.
So those were the big payments for the big projects.
Anybody have any questions on the financial report, any additions?
Y'all like that kind of category like that? Keep it going like that? I think it's easy.
And I think that, you know, unfortunately, the people that requested are not here, but this is exactly,
What you wanted.
this is exactly what they were asking for, so.
I think they should be very helpful, especially for everybody to understand, especially the itemized expenses as well. Very helpful.
Certainly like to thank you for that. Anything else on finance? We'll go into the, public comment. I don't think anybody is here to request anything.
Full house.
So we'll go ahead and, adjourn, and thank everybody that's here, and staff for coming in and take some of your time to be able to be here with us. Sorry for the amount of people that showed up, but I'm sure everybody had their own.
Well, that's okay. We knew that there's kind of a lull right now. It's not, I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's because we're in that process of going through the pre-construction. And everything is usually the same. We're coming in here and reporting maybe the different types of things that we may be doing with pre-construction. But everything's usually about the same right now. So it's several months.
And I think that one of the items I think that we need to put on the agenda for next meeting is determining the actual date of the meeting, and maybe just kind of discuss it over, because I know that one of the biggest discussions that we had at the very beginning, that we were meeting before the board to be able to do many reports or any summaries or any recommendations that we may be having, or whatever the case may be. But I think we're at a point that we're kind of somehow got behind schedule, and they meet, and then we meet, so, you know, we have to, if they're gonna hear anything from us, it's gonna be like a week later from the stuff that may have already been given to them, so.
So that means our next meeting, well, we've got a board meeting on April the 1st. What's the next time?
And our next meeting would be April the
The
3rd.
third.
Our meeting right after that will be
Right.
on April the 3rd. So if that's something y'all want to look at, it maybe going from the 3rd to the 10th, the second Thursday of the month, and then you would be on the 10th, and the next meeting would be, 15th.
But I think, you know, and I can be corrected, but I think the whole idea was that it would be our meeting would be held, and then they'd have 2 meetings after we did. and in case we needed something discussed that we didn't go, then we would call a meeting on the Thursday before they met. That was I just don't know what happened. I mean, that was the discussion, that's why we set it up that way, but I don't know. Maybe at that particular month, the first and second of the month happened to fall on a Thursday, and we just went that way, and we got sidetracked.
I know we scheduled board meetings that would move back because of the holidays.
Yeah, well, yeah, but even even if you think about it right now, the first and third Tuesdays when the board meets, and then we're meeting on the first Thursday, so it's after their first, unless the first falls on a Wednesday, the day number one falls on a Wednesday or Thursday, well, then we will meet before them. But if not, we're gonna meet after them on a continuous basis. And I think that's just something that we need to discuss and maybe just actually set up the date rather than saying the first Thursday of each month, but to say the first Thursday before the meeting.
That doesn't give the administration enough time if we want to present something, unless it's just listed on the agenda, a conference presentation, where we just make a report, prepare, present a report.
I think that would be good. Meet that Thursday before their meeting and present it just like you say, Ms. Payne.
Okay, but then we'd have to say, not actually the first week or the second week, because dates change, the first could fall on a Wednesday and so forth. But if we say we meet the Thursday before the first meeting of the month, or the second meeting of the month.
And I think that's what
I think that's what y'all gonna have to bring up in the next
Just do it
meeting.
that way.
And make sure that you have nothing here to have a forum to be able to vote on that.
Certainly.
just to make sure that we do have bylaws, because I know in the bylaws they say exactly what it is, and we'd have to change the bylaws
Exactly. No, it has to be that.
before we start doing those kind of meetings. I mean, I know there's a way of calling it an emergency meeting, and we can do that because it's been done in the past, but just to make, we get into the correct routine and we state it correctly what our intentions really are, to be able to.
And then if it's on the agenda, we need to make sure that somebody is present at the meeting to report.
There was going to be somebody here.
Yeah, no, there was, and it was, and I usually, I'm usually there at the meeting in case somebody, because I've done it about twice. I've done it for, when Michael was the chairman, I did it for him a couple of times,
And you did a good job.
And then I was gonna do it, I would have gone, but like I said, I had other situations I couldn't, and I told him, and he told me he was gonna be there.
I'm not putting anybody down, I just want to make sure we are.
No, we do have to.
Okay.
In fact, a board member brought it to my attention. He said, you need to make sure that, whoever says you're gonna be there, better be there, because it looks bad.
Yeah.
On us here.
Yeah, no, it does, that's why we make sure that there's and I used to go to I usually go to all the meetings, the first Tuesday of the month.
And it was very informative, especially, I was there for the architect, but once again, the architect did a presentation. It was very, very informative, especially on behalf of the architect as well. And once again, it's nice to be recognized, our participation
they
with
called
the
it
bond
out,
committee,
or not?
so it's important.
As soon as we had a communication between the district and the committee, it's important.
Not only that, we represent the community may have to be aware of the situation as well.
That's
So I
right.
think that's very important.
Very much.
Just make sure we do.
Also, now, if you don't,
And one thing that you may wanna, I don't remember, but whether there has to be a notice said, whether we intend to change the bylaws or not, I'm not sure. But if there is somewhere in there that says to notify the members that there is going to be the item on the agenda, let's go ahead and do that, so that if we are gonna change it, we've given the notice to be able to change that, for the meeting.
that would be involved.
Well, as long as you have it if you have it in the bylaws, you have to abide by it, but if they're not, then we're okay, then we can go by, Robert's Rule of Orders are nasty, if you don't know how to do it.
Right.
I won't go any further than that, but.
I'll have to go back and read the bylaws.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I know I with that in mind, we'll wait till next
meeting.
meeting, which is the first Thursday of the...
Very good.
Okay?